Hello and welcome to another episode of Tamara Unfiltered. Now today I want to talk about this amazing supplement NMN. I just want to give you an update on it because I've been taking it for 8 months now and I know I bang on about it, but it has changed my life so much. I just want everybody to know about it. So I just wanted to do a little catch up today on just what's changed since I've been taking it, because the first thing I did when I was researching all this, well, I did a lot of research obviously, and a lot of the stuff was saying like this is not one of those supplements that you kind of take and then feel instantly different. It's something that you kind of need to build up over time. So I have just actually worked out I've been taking this for the last 8 months, which is insane. I didn't realise that much time had passed, but I think some of the changes have been gradual. I think some of the other changes happen quite quickly, and I just want to let you know what's been going on because this has been such a game changer for me. You guys know I take a lot of supplements. I'm always trying new things, but I'm yet to try something that has changed my life as much as NMN. Like, there is nothing similar to this and nothing that actually makes a noticeable difference like this. But like I said, I think it's taken me this much time to actually work out why and how it is so good. Anyway, I think with this, what I didn't realise, I don't think I realised when I started taking this that I was perimenopausal. Or maybe I did, but I didn't realise it would help. But what I didn't realise was this is a perimenopausal game changer. I would say it's just a hormone game changer in general, but I didn't realise how much of an impact it would actually have, and a positive impact. Anyway, I just want to share this because I've shared this with so many people, friends and family, and they have seen such a difference themselves. I just really want to talk about this. In fact, I want to scream this from the rooftops, but nobody wants to act that crazy. You wouldn't listen to me if I acted that crazy. Anyway, I think the reason I want to talk about this is because if you remember in the last pod, I was talking about how I'd got so ill over Christmas, and when I was ill, I didn't take any supplements. So I basically ended up having nearly a 2-week break from the NMN. And I was feeling pretty shit when I went back to them. However, it's almost like taking a break has kind of, I don't even know what it's done, but I have now obviously restarted taking them again and I feel so good. I think that's what prompted this podcast, because I'm like, no, I feel fucking fantastic. Anyway, I just want to talk you through some of the changes that have happened because they've been really positive, and I think there are probably some changes a lot more of us could do with, or at least want. Now the first one, and I think probably the one you'll all find the most interesting, is the weight loss. Again, having taken this for so long and continuing on my research, I'm now understanding how much we are affected by our hormones, and if you can get them in balance, you really can sort out a lot of other things like weight gain and things like that. Now, I had slowly over the last couple of years been gaining weight, and you know when you're gaining weight but you don't really notice it, and I had crept up into there were clothes that wanted me to buy them in a size 16, and honestly I just refused to buy them because I was like, I can't be a 16. As it was, I've gone from being, when I had Rocco, I was a size 8. Then I went into a 10 and then slipped into a 12. And then, I went into a 14. And now I'm like 16. No, I'm not doing it. So I've just been wearing tight clothes, basically. Anyway, I started taking this NMN and I noticed quite quickly that weight started dropping off. And that's what I think got me so interested in it and wanted me to keep taking it. The fact that I had changed nothing. I've not got a very good diet, if you know me. I'm a beige food person. If it's beige and it's fried, I fucking love it. But I'm not a very healthy person. And I think there is something about the NMN. It almost acts like an appetite suppressant. I've said this before. I obviously eat a lot of shit, and I eat a lot of the shit because I feel like I have a lot of hunger. However, with this NMN, I get still insanely hungry, but I no longer have the capacity to eat what I ate before. I can't stuff myself anymore. I don't even want to stuff myself anymore. And I'm eating maybe half of what I was eating before and feeling satisfied. And again, I've never actively tried to lose weight because I don't like any of the things that come with losing weight. I don't want to eat healthily. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do any of these things. I know I should be doing them, but I don't want to fucking do them. And I'm not the sort of person that will do anything I don't want to do ever. So I've never actively tried to lose weight. However, it has been bothersome to me, this weight gain. Anyway, so I started taking this and noticed the weight dropping off without me having to change anything. I haven't changed my diet. I haven't started exercising. Nothing has changed. I'm simply taking the NMN. And it was just, I don't know, it just made such a difference to the point where now, 8 months later, again, no diet change, still no exercise, nothing like that. I am down a whole dress size. And I saw my friend the other day and he's like, oh my God, he was like, you're half the size you were. And I was like, thanks. That's such a nice thing to say to someone. Well, not all the people want to hear that, but I needed to hear that. And it was just really nice. So the fact that the people are noticing it and I've noticed it. At my last check, I had lost like half a stone. I would probably guess now I've maybe lost about a stone over the last 8 months. Again, not changed a damn thing apart from taking this NMN. So that for me was kind of, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this shit for life. And do you know what's really wild? Like, I have a really, again, I think this is all hormonal related. Like I think I eat a lot of sugary things because I'm trying to replace the lack of love in my life. And again, with this NMN, it's like I don't crave the sugary things and I haven't got any more love in my life. I'm in the same place I was. Nothing's really changed in that side of things, but it is just, I don't know, I just, again, don't have the desire to be eating a large amount of sugary things, even to the point where before I'd get like a massive bar of chocolate and I'd eat the whole thing and then I'd want another one. Now I'll eat I'll get a bar of chocolate and then I'll eat like a two squares maybe of it and then I'll just put it away, which is so not like anything I've ever been. And it's just wild to me that it has this effect. And I know it's an appetite suppressant because I gave it to my friend who she really likes to eat. And she was like, oh, fucking hell. She's like, this stuff really makes you not want to eat. And I was like, oh, glad I'm not the only one imagining it. So I think that's why it's been so helpful with the weight loss, simply because it's just taken away that desire to eat everything and anything. I think the second most noticeable thing for me has honestly been my skin. Again, I've spoken about this before, and if you follow along on Instagram, you know I have skincare treatments. I love a bit of microneedling. Still not had Botox, although I'm so close to Botox, it's unreal. I just, honestly, if the next time you see me, I'm looking like snatched and sharp, just know what happened, okay? But I do have skincare treatments. However, I really noticed that since taking this, my skin is just so much nicer. I think I said this the last time I was talking about this. Like, I find myself just like stroking my skin because it's just so soft and so nice, and it's become a lot tighter. Like I was noticing like my skin was gathering in kind of a different old lady fashion that I wasn't used to, and it's just, I don't know, it's just stopped all of that. And my chest, I know this has worked because my chest, when I kind of, when you're like sleeping on your side and your chest is all gathered together, it started looking like that without me actually having to gather it. And now it's just back to being smooth and taut again. And it's just, I don't know, it's literally made such a difference to my skin health. And also, let's not forget, like, this is an anti-aging product, this NMN. This was how it was discovered. There was a doctor, because this is crazy, but I think it was the World Health Organization. They've basically declared aging as a disease. They're saying aging is now, it's a disease, and with any disease, not everybody gets it, right? So they put this guy in charge, I think it's Dr. David Sinclair, put him in charge of basically figuring out the cure for the disease that is aging. And he come up with NMN, because NMN is a precursor to this NAD stuff that we produce a lot of when we're young, that we stop producing so much of after we're 30. So I think, I don't even know what I think, but it is just taking that is almost acting like an anti-ager for me. I was looking at some pictures of myself from like the year before last, and I was thinking, God, you are looking younger, which is wild. And this is what this stuff is meant to do, just like basically help you age backwards. So again, that was just another really positive side effect, because this supplement's really cheap. This works out to, I get a 3-month supply for, like, if you use my discount code or a discount code, you get it for like £45. Now that's a 3-month supply. That's like just over £10 a month, which for me is very manageable considering what it does. So yeah, my skin, for me, this is kind of like it's a lot cheaper than all the collagen supplements and the vitamin C creams and all of that. So yeah, this just honestly helps so many different areas of my life, and it's probably the most cost-effective thing that I use considering the amount of things that it helps. Anyway, so yeah, my skin is skinning at the moment. Might not look like that now because we've got a lighting issue in the Not Dr. Tamara podcast studio. I really can't figure out this lighting issue, but I can assure you, without this bad light, I'm looking better. Anyway, I think the next and probably best thing for me, I think they're all the best, I say that for everything, but for me it's the energy. I have got the energy back that I feel like I had 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when I was running like 4 different businesses and I was super single mum of the flipping decade, I feel like I have that kind of energy back. Especially the last couple of years, I think I've been suffering with burnout, and I've just not had the energy to do anything. I've not had the will to do anything. I've basically lost the will to live the last couple of years. And this stuff, I don't know, I feel back to my old self. I get up. I think that's the nice thing as well. Like, I get up uncloudy. I don't know if that makes sense, and I know that's not a word, but especially if you smoke weed, you kind of can wake up kind of heady, and you kind of wake up almost feeling like, oh, I just want to go back to sleep. That doesn't happen anymore. I wake up and I'm like, boom, it's another day and I'm ready to go. And it's just not that heaviness here around my eyes. It's really weird. But that I think's made such a difference, because, you know, when you get up in a good spirit and you bounce out of bed and you're like, yeah, I'm going to have a good day, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a good day. But when you're not bouncing out of bed and you can't see properly and you're like, oh God, I can't be bothered, I feel tired, I want to go back to sleep. That's almost how I felt. I was getting like a full night's sleep and still feeling like I hadn't slept, to the point where now I'm getting up and I feel like I've slept. And added bonus to this, it's actually improved my sleep, because I've never really been able to sleep more than 4 hours without getting up for a wee and then having to smoke some weed and going back to sleep. And this has now stretched out my sleep to like a full 7 hours, which is absolutely insane. And I think, again, that's another thing that's contributing to the weight loss. It's all relative, isn't it? But, you know, me sleeping better has just affected different aspects of my life. Again, I think with the weight loss, but with my mood, it makes such a difference getting up and actually feeling like you're ready for the day. So for me, I feel like I'm going to take this stuff forever. But back to the beginning, when I was saying how I'd taken that 2-week break, I don't know if my body had just got used to the NMN or whatever, but taking that break, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's made me extra brand new. It's given me an extra lease of life. I am feeling all those benefits that I was feeling before, but like much more in an exaggerated way. So I don't know. This is just made so many different. Can I just say, I just want to apologize if you can hear my son in the distance. I've literally threatened him about 4 or 5 times with death, throwing the PlayStation off the balcony, taking him to his scary nan's house. Like, do you think he'll be quiet? He won't fucking be quiet. So if you remember in the last podcast, I was discussing how we're just getting on with things. So I'm just getting on with it. But apologies if you can hear him shouting things on Fortnite. Anyway, back to the NMN. The energy, the weight loss, the skin thing, they've just been complete game changers. I am genuinely just feeling back to my 10-year-old Tamara capable self, like feeling like I can. Another thing that's changed, which again, it's kind of been gradual. You don't take this and then everything just feels better. Like, this has been a build up. But I literally noticed a couple of weeks ago, for a long time, as much as I'd like to not admit it, I think I had arthritis in my hands, especially these 4 fingers. And you don't want to think you've got arthritis because, well, I'm not even 40 yet, but I think that's what was happening, because when I looked it up, it's just like my fingers constantly felt bruised, sore to touch, very achy. Turns out it's supposed to be arthritis. Anyway, I've noticed, only a couple of weeks ago, I noticed my fingers aren't really hurting anymore. Like, they're still... I can't even describe it. Like, I'm aware that there was an issue there, if that makes sense. Like, they don't feel as strong as the rest of my fingers. However, like, doing this before, if you can see what I'm doing, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm like scrunching my hands up, would be really painful. But now it's not. Like, and I've just noticed, like, all the bruises that felt like they were along my fingers are no longer there. And again, I think that can only be the NMN. And it's just so mad that it has had this much of an effect on my entire body. Now, I will say my back still aches, but if you remember a few podcasts back, I was talking about, I go for massages occasionally. There's this lovely Thai massage place near where I live, and the woman is an absolute magician. She knows what's wrong with you before you even know what's wrong with you. And every time I see her, I mean, she makes it like a joke, but my lower back hurts and she's always rubbing my back and she's like, you need sex, you need to have sex. She always says to me, you need to have sex. She says, you need to have sex and go dancing. And she says, if you have sex and go dancing, your lower back won't hurt. Now, a few months back when I was seeing someone, I was having sex, lo and behold, all my lower back pain went, but it's back again because I'm not having sex. However, that thing where like my knees ache, my ankles ache, my elbows ache, my fingers ache, everything's ache. It's no longer aching, and I just feel more sprightly. I feel it. Do you know what is so funny? Do you know what is crazy? All my kids, like, we all know how we all sound in the house, and someone pointed out that I now sound different when I move around the house. Like, I think before I was quite slow and heavy moving around the house. Now I'm a lot more sprightly. One of the kids literally brought it up. They were like, oh my God, I thought you were Rocco because of like how you're moving. I'm like, oh my God, I'm moving like a 19-year-old. Like, love it. But just things like that, like just making such a difference, not feeling like a flipping old woman, has just helped. Like, it's just been an absolute game changer. Anyway, I think the last and most noticeable thing has been my mood, and I think if anybody's noticed that, it's probably you guys. You kind of lost me for a while. I was not in a good place. I did not have the energy. I didn't have the energy to even conduct my own life, let alone be there for the internet. But this is just, I don't know. And if you know me, you know my mood is different. I'm not so quick to anger. I'm not so, the temper is just, I mean, I've always been very short-tempered. I'm a hothead. But it's just like I'm so much so less hot-headed. And it's noticeable as well. Like before, I'd be like, it would take not very much for me to just start screaming at all the kids about nothing. But now I'm just, I don't know, I'm so much calmer with them. I've also found as well, like another big change with this has been my hormones, which I think obviously goes hand in hand with your mood. If your hormones are balanced, your mood is going to be better. And I find now, instead of me being like a moody bastard all month, I am literally just having that really, I guess, what is normal thing, where the few days before my period, I'm feeling crazy, but I'm not feeling as crazy as I was. That's the crazy thing. Like before, I'd be like verging on flipping suicidal 2 days before my period, just feeling so out of sorts, like I can't cope. Or I always get to this point 2 days before my period where I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. I'm shit at everything. I don't want to do it. And then I get my period and I'm like, but I'm just not getting that now. I'm not getting that insane, like the blow-ups and the rage that come, that you don't even know where it comes from because you don't even realise you're due on, but you'll just suddenly explode. It's like, all that has really simmered down. It's just, I don't know, crazy that something happened. I think I told you in the last podcast, like with my baby father and his stepkids or whatever, and I almost, like, I had a mental reaction because I felt like it's what is expected of me and felt like what is what I should do. So I'd sent him this angry text, right, but it wouldn't go through. But I was almost relieved that it hadn't gone through, because I just thought, oh, for God's sakes, like if that had gone through, you'd just be in beef now, and like, what's the fucking point? And as it was, like, the message didn't go through. We stayed civil, and he actually came round last week to, I've just moved the house around a bit and put Neo up into his own room. So he came round and like built his new bed and took apart Kale's bed and just did all this stuff. And I just thought, God, if we'd argued, that never would have happened. And the fact that I'm able to, like, I didn't control, I mean, the message wasn't psychotic, but it did say I was going to beat your girlfriend up. But it was, I don't know, when it didn't send, again, like, I felt a bit of relief, which is not really like me. And even I was looking at myself, I'm like, who are you? What have you become? What is this placid behaviour? Like, I don't know, it's crazy. Again, it's not me, but then maybe it is me. Maybe I've just never been allowed to be like a nice, calm person, because my hormones are always trying to make me want to kill myself, and I'm busy just trying to defend myself from life. But I don't know, it's just, I feel like it's making me a better person, which is a really bold statement. And it's like, well, why can't you be a better person on your own? But sometimes we just can't. I remember as well, like, we are just these fleshy covered cages filled with minerals and stuff that, like, and chemicals that keep us alive. And if those minerals and chemicals all get out of whack, like, you're not going to function properly. And I do think sometimes, I'm not saying NMN's for everyone, but for me, I needed this. This has been a complete life changer, game changer, absolutely changed everything, and in such a positive way. And I really just think maybe this was the thing I was missing. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys, because I've had, like I said, so many of my friends and family start taking this, and some of you guys, and you've noticed, you know, how much it's making a difference in your life, and you're loving it too. And I just wanted to share this because I've said this before, like, I know not everybody can afford to supplement, and it's not accessible to everybody, but for the sake of, well, I'm going to bad maths, £11 a month, you can actually do stuff to help yourself. Like, and this getting better and getting healthy thing doesn't need to be as inaccessible and unaffordable as it can sometimes seem. Now, I will say about this NMN, you might hear people saying, oh, you need to have it intravenously for it to work. while I have no doubt that there is a better way to get this into you and that might have a better effect, that is going to cost you about £400 to £600 a pop, and you're going to need that once a month. That's not cost effective for anybody, okay? This to me is cost effective. It's £10 a month it boils down to, and I just think everybody can do that. I mean, if you've got the money, go and get it intravenous. I don't even get it intravenously. I'm looking into it actually, only because I just want to have a go and see what it's like. But I don't think you need to do that, and I don't think everything needs to be, I don't know, not for everybody. This is I won't even want to call this a poor person's version of it, but this is essentially a poor person's caviar version of this NAD stuff. But it doesn't mean it's not great, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up because this literally was just a little catch up on the NMN, because I've had so many of you messaging me, so many of you asking me like little things, and I just thought I would just try and cover how it's helped me. Now, I can't say it's going to help you like this. There are actually so many different ways that NMN can help you, and I do suggest, again, don't listen to people on the internet, do your own research. It was research that sold this to me. I'd seen an advert for this, read a little bit, thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Then I really started diving deep. Reddit is actually a really good place, because what I find is you don't want to read the opinions of the manufacturers. Of course, they're going to tell you this shit's great. I mean, they want you to buy it, right? But you go onto these forums, places like Reddit, where there are people discussing with there's no financial gain. They're just having a chat and they're just discussing their experiences. You can actually gauge a lot from like a product like this from looking at stuff like that. And reading silly little things like when I started taking this, I was getting insane headaches, and then doing more and more research, I discovered in one of the forums that someone said you shouldn't have any caffeine like within 30 minutes of taking this. So I kind of had to switch up my morning routine, because normally I get up, I'll take this and I would drink the tea straight away. That's my original morning routine, is having a pot of tea in the morning and herbal tea. And so I've just kind of staggered that. So I get up now and I take the tablet first thing, give it half an hour, potter around a bit, then I have my tea. And again, it's just made such a difference. It did take about, I think it was like day 10, I noticed this. I will never forget that day, because I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning just ready to fucking start the day. It was crazy. But yeah, it's been 8 months, and like I said, it took a couple of weeks to kick in, but it is kicked in nicely, and I have had noticeable good changes that I can actually see the change in myself, to the point where other people see the change, noticing my mood, noticing the weight loss, noticing my skin as well. And even me, I can actually feel the difference. Anyway, like I said, go and check out the forums, Reddit especially. This might just be the thing you never knew you needed in your life. Drop me a message, send me a DM on Instagram if you've been using this and it's been helping, or even if it's not been helping. Not everything's for everyone. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you because it's genuinely changed, and I'm going to say saved, my life. Anyway, thank you for listening. I've got a code. It's Tamara. It will get you 20% off of this. It's literally just Tamara. Give it a try. Genuinely a game changer. I'll put the code in the bio, and I will see you guys next week for another episode of Tamara Unfiltered. Thank you so much for listening.